welcome back to my channel. My name is Allie if you're new here, and let's talk about some books. So today I'm bringing you my mid-year book freakout tag, and I'm super excited to be doing this year. I have everything written out in my journal, so if you see me looking at this, that's why, just because I want to remember the questions. But I'm really excited. I've got lots of books to talk about here, and I've had a very interesting reading year, so yeah, it'll be fun. So far this year I have read 66 books. It might be 67, which is actually way farther along than I've ever been in a reading challenge in my life, which is so funny to me because I actually went through a pretty big reading slump. But at the beginning of the year, I was reading like 20 plus books a month, and I'm finally getting back up into the double digits. So I'm feeling really good. I'm feeling really happy about the books that I've been reading. I do really want to get into some books that are like more anticipated for me because I feel like I've been reading less 5 stars and a lot of 4 stars, but I need that like 5-star feeling. So we're just gonna go ahead and get right on into it. The very first question is, what has been your favorite book or the best book that you've read so far this year? And my answer is Kingdom of Ash by Sarah J. Maas. I am obsessed with this book. Like I can't even like fathom how much I love it. This book brought me to tears. There's actually a reading vlog on my channel. It's kind of multiple because it took me a month to, well, this one didn't take me nearly as long as it took me to do the tandem read, but it did take me a minute to get through this. So there is some reading vlog footage if you go back on my channel. I read this back in like January and February of 2023. So definitely loved this book. I thought that it was fantastic. I love Sarah J. Maas. I love her writing. I love this world. I love the Throne of Glass world here. So this book is absolutely fantastic. It's also gorgeous. Gotta love it. Oh, and if you haven't read this series, I highly recommend it. The next book is the best sequel that you've read this year. I have a couple of answers here. The first one, I don't actually have a physical copy. It's A Very Merry Bromance by Alyssa K. Adams. This was, I think it's the 5th book in the series, and this is actually the Christmas one. I think I read it in like February, but I am obsessed with this series. Like, give me 5 million romance book club books and I will absolutely read them all. I love them. But this one was a lot of fun. And it's technically the 5th book, not the 2nd book, but I don't even care. It was amazing. I highly recommend it. The other book is kind of cheating, but that's Love Theoretically by Ali Hazelwood. This is kind of cheating because technically they're not related. They're not technically in the same world. They're in the same universe, but they're not really related at all. So I don't know if you can technically call this a sequel. I'm gonna call it a sequel for the purposes of this video, but I absolutely adored this book. I actually just finished it last month, at the end of the month, and I thought it was amazing. The next question is new releases that you want to read that just came out in the last year. So I have 4 options here, and I'm actually planning on getting to all of them this summer. So the first one is Fourth Wing by Rebecca Yarros. Obviously, everybody's talking about this. I haven't quite read it yet. I'm actually waiting for my friend to get her copy of this, and it delivers on Tuesday. So as soon as she gets her copy, we're going to buddy read this together. But I'm literally so excited. Look at how beautiful this book is, and I hear just like phenomenal things about this book, so I'm so excited. This is just right up my alley. I love dragons. I love fantasy. I love everything about this, so I'm super excited to pick this up. The next one is Yellowface, which I'm actually currently reading. This is by R.F. Kuang, and I am like 240 pages into this, so I'm almost done. I'll finish it today, but I think that this still counts because I haven't finished it yet, but I absolutely adore this book. It's so good. It's wild, just absolutely wild. I'm not going to go into the synopsis in this, but holy shit, this book is wild. The next book is one of my most anticipated books of the year, and this is The Only One Left by Riley Sager. Riley Sager is probably my favorite author. I'm obsessed. I love everything that he puts out. It's just so interesting to me. I love the thriller. I have one book that I haven't read by him yet, but I highly recommend picking this up because I haven't even read the book and I already know it's going to be amazing. And I love Riley Sager. So super excited. We'll be reading this very, very shortly. And then the last book is Happy Place by Emily Henry. I actually have not read an Emily Henry book yet. And I kind of feel like I should probably pick up one of the other ones first, or all of the other ones. I do own Beach Read, right? Yeah, I do own Beach Read, but I just kind of want to get straight into this one and let this be my like introduction to her work. But then again, I probably should go back and read like the older books first, just in case they're not as good as this one. I don't know. Emily Henry is very controversial. Some people love her, some people hate her, some people say her old books suck, some people love some of her books. So I think I'm just gonna kind of go however I want to and probably read Happy Place first. Plus, the color of this book is insane. I love, like, this is one of my favorite colors. It's just like a hot pink, and I'm super excited to pick it up, just honestly just because of that. Okay, my most anticipated book for the second half of the year is, I had a hard time picking this because, to be honest with you, I don't know a lot of the books that are releasing in the next 6 months. Like this first 6 months, I had a pretty good idea of some of the books that I was really excited about, but I don't have really like a whole lot. I know that I'm really excited for Crescent City 3. I don't even know what it's called. No, I don't know. Maybe it's Flame and Shadow. I'm not entirely sure. But I'm super excited for that book, but that doesn't come out until 2024, so it technically doesn't count, but we'll go with that one, the next Crescent City book. And then also, I'm also really excited for Immortal Longings by Chloe Gong. I actually got this as my book of the month. It's on its way here, not quite here yet, but I will have that very shortly as well. That comes out in July. So super excited to read that. And that's kind of the only answer that I have because, like I said, I don't really have a ton of anticipated books for the next 6 months. The next question is, what was your biggest surprise? So my biggest surprise, honestly, was Magnolia Parks. And I don't actually own a physical copy of it. I would love to. I probably should get on it before they do the recovers, but wow, that book is something else. I really liked it, which is so funny because I am not the type of girly that likes toxic books. Like, I don't like toxic relationships. I don't like cheating. None of that appeals to me. But for some reason, Magnolia Parks really worked for me. And I'm terrified to continue on with the series. So I've only read the first book because I'm just so scared of what's going to happen. And I just need like a few more books to be released so that I have some content to get through before I continue on. So yeah. That book was surprisingly good and I really enjoyed it, but I'm nervous to continue, so I'm gonna just hold off for now. Okay, the next question is who is a new favorite author of yours? And mine is Elle Cosimano, who wrote Finley Donovan is Killing It. I actually have read all 3 of these books. I listened to the audiobooks in the last month and I'm obsessed. They're all so good, they're so fun. She's an amazing author and I really enjoyed these books. So I highly recommend these. I highly recommend her, and she's probably going to be close to an auto buy for anything else that she puts out because I really enjoyed it. And then this is a stretch because I am currently reading my first book by this author and I'm not very far into it, but so far I'm really enjoying it. It's giving me all of the summer vibes that I'm looking for this time of year, and that is Ellen Hildebrand. And I know everybody loves her. She's been around forever. She's super popular. This is my first book by her and I'm really enjoying it so far. So I'm hoping that once I get through this book, I'll pick up some more of hers and I'm gonna just really enjoy all of her work. But yeah, this one, I'm reading Golden Girls by her right now and it's a lot of fun. Okay, the next question is, who is your newest fictional crush? And my answer for that has got to be Nate Hawkins from Icebreaker. I thought that book was so fun and he was just such a sweetheart. He just cared so much and I really, really appreciated him. I also could probably say Nick from Finley Donovan is Killing It because he's also such a sweetheart. And I clearly am the type of person who's like interested in just people who care and are sweet and not like the bad boy, because if you're gonna be an asshole, I'm not that interested in you. But both of these characters were just like amazing and they just would like go out of their way for the other person, and I really appreciate that. So I liked both of them a lot. Okay, the next question is a book that made you cry. And a book that made me cry was Before I Let Go by Kennedy Ryan. This book was a ride. Holy crap. It was so good. It was amazing, but I have a hard time with like betrayal in books, and I just felt like there was a lot to that in this. but it's like the cover is gorgeous. The book was gorgeous. The relationship in this book was gorgeous. I absolutely love this book. I thought that it was phenomenal. We read it for our bibliophile book club, and I just thought that it was amazing. So I highly recommend this, but if you're anything like me and have a lot of emotions like I do, you might cry when reading this, just because it's hard to like process what's going on in the first half of this book, for me at least, but I loved it. Okay, the next question is, what is a book that made you happy? And my answer for this is Amari and the Night Brothers. I was so excited when I read this book. It was just so fun. I didn't really know like what to expect going into it. I know a lot of people loved it, but I didn't really have a lot of ideas on like what it was going to be about. And when I was reading it, I just thought that it was so fun. It gives you like the magical school aspect, but it's very like immersive, and it was just interesting to learn like the politics of like magicians versus just normal people with gifts. And I thought that it was so much fun, and I loved it. I do still have to finish the second book because I haven't started that one yet, and then obviously continue on with the story as the new books come out. But I really, really enjoyed that book. I thought it was a lot of fun. The next question is, what are your new favorite books that are pretty? That didn't come out very well. That was just kind of a word vomit. Anyways, I've already talked about both of these books, but I might as well talk about them again because they are books that I just picked up. First pretty book, Happy Place. The colors on this book just are so like appealing to my eyeballs, and I love it. So definitely that one. And then I would say that the other one would be Fourth Wing. Obviously, it's just like, look at the gold. I don't know that I even so much love the like cover, but like the gold is just so appealing to me, and I just love it. So definitely those two. And then the next book is some books that you need to read before the end of the year. And I am determined to read these two books before the end of the year. The first one is City of Heavenly Fire. I am so ready to be done with the Mortal Instruments, and this book is just, it's huge. It's like 1,000 pages. Is it 7? Okay, I was off. 725. That's a little less daunting, but this book is just really big. But I'm just kind of sick of the Mortal Instruments. I'm kind of sick of these characters. I think that Jace and Clary are irritating, and I don't really care that much about their relationship anymore. And so I just like Magnus and Alec and Simon and Isabel are great, but I just do not care that much about Jace and Clary. So I've just been putting this off. I read the one before this in April, and I liked it decently, but I've just been putting it off because I just don't care. And I really want to get to the rest of the books. Like I want to get to the Dark Artifices. I've already read the Infernal Devices, but I want to get to the Dark Artifices, and then I want to get to the Last Hours. Can't do that until I finish this book. So I just have to get through it so that I can enjoy the rest of the series. And then the other book that I really want to finish this year is The Dragon Republic by R.F. Kuang. I read The Poppy War last year, and it was my favorite book of the year. I thought that it was absolutely amazing. It was such a good book. And I've been intimidated to read the other books in the series just because that first book took me a long time to get through, and it's very like war. It's obviously the Poppy War. It's very war-centric, very war-heavy. There's a lot of like politics and magic systems and stuff like that you really have to like be paying attention for. And I went through a reading slump this year, so then I was like not in the mood, and now I'm finally starting to get excited to read this. So this is definitely one that I am planning on getting to before the end of the year. And then I have an honorable mention, and that is A Court of Silver Flames. I have never read this book all the way through. I wonder if there still is a bookmark in here. There's not. I think I've read the first like 100 pages of this book, maybe slightly more. And I just don't care about Nesta enough to read this book. But I know everybody loves this book. And with Crescent City 3 coming out and potentially more Actar books, I know there's more in the works eventually. I just feel like I need to read this before I can move on with any of her other books. So I need to read this year. It's top of priority. I am actually in the middle of a reread. I'm on Akawar. So once I read Akawar and then get through A Court of Frost and Starlight, then I'll read this and struggle my way through it because I'm not that excited, but you gotta do what you gotta do. And then the last question is, who are some creators that you've been watching, some book creators that you've been watching? So my number one book creator that I always watch out for, I guess I have two. The first one is Katie is Reading, and the second one is Prose Project, aka Reagan. I watch every upload that they post. They're my favorites. But there's also a lot of other ones that I do love and follow. So Haley Pham, obviously. Rachel Catherine, obviously. Just Allie. I think that it's cool that we have the same name and it's spelled the same, because that doesn't happen very often. So that's what drew me into her, and now I just really like her videos as well. She's fun. And she's always just very like positive and happy, so I highly recommend her as well. I also have been recently obsessed with Carter Sullivan. She's actually a lifestyle YouTuber, but she does post a lot of book content as well, and I really enjoy her videos. They're just really cathartic to me, so I like watching her stuff. And then I also really love watching Samantha Donovan's videos. She posts great ones as well. She posts really frequently, so you always have something to watch, which is super entertaining to me. And then I also love like all of the classic ones. Olivia Reads a Latte, Books and Lala, Tori Between the Pages. Like I pretty much love everybody that I come across. If you're gonna post videos about books, I'm interested. Almost forgot, one of my absolute favorites is Chandler Ainsley. She's like probably one of my favorites as well. So yeah, got lots of favorite creators. Definitely go check them all out, go give them love, and I hope that you've enjoyed this video and enjoyed this mid-year book freakout tag. If you're watching this video and you make videos about books, I encourage you to make this video as well. And even if it's a little bit later in the month, that's okay, just make the video anyways. So anyways, I hope that you guys have had a good time watching this. I've had a great time talking with you, and I will talk to you in my next video. Bye!